What's up, boys? It's Devin. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to find motivation if you feel like you have none. I understand that you have goals you're trying to achieve, but your main struggle right now is you simply can't find the motivation to achieve said goal. You struggle with finding a reason to get up and do the things you need to do. And trust me, brother, I've been there. I was a lost soul. I was completely lost in my life. I was out of shape. I was addicted to drugs, addicted to alcohol. I was a degenerate. I was spinning and spiraling out of control. And my main struggle is, even with all that pain, I couldn't find the motivation to press forward. I couldn't find the motivation to change my life around. But over the years, I figured this out, okay? I figured out exactly how to find the motivation when you feel like it ain't there anymore. So if you're looking to really find that in you, that is exactly what I'm about to show you how to do. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly how to apply that now and start feeling that motivation daily, every single day again. And I know I've done a video on something like this before, but this is a tactical, step-by-step process I'm about to break down for you boys. And let's just jump right into it. All right, fellas, let's do this. How I found motivation when I had none. Please understand, fellas, I was legit lost in my life. Like, I'm serious. I had no direction. I had no idea where to go in life. And even when I figured out where I wanted to go, and I was putting the work in the gym, I was eating clean, I was pushing myself to level up, when that progress didn't come as quick as I thought it would, I started to lose motivation. And in this video, I'm going to show you what I did to never lose motivation again. How I stayed motivated and kept moving forwards no matter what. So firstly, let's discuss why progress feels slow in the first place. So progress feels slow in the first place because of instant gratification culture. We're so used to social media, constantly being able to pull up anything and have access to anything at our fingertips at any moment, that this instant gratification has fried our brains, through TikTok, Instagram, scroll, things like this, pornography, fucking video games. All this shit has fried our brains, and it gives us this false dopamine where we get that instant gratification. Same thing with vices. When we drink alcohol, when we take drugs, we immediately get that good feeling, but it's not real. So for us to have to wait for gratification to come through, it's not normal to most people because we're so fried these days. But basically, we live in a world of instant gratification, but meaningful change is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Feeling stuck, feeling impatient is normal. It's part of the process. So when you're going down the self-improvement journey, whether that's trying to get in shape, trying to upgrade your physique, your mindset, trying to do better in business, trying to build better habits, you have to understand that these things take a long time. You're not going to immediately get a result, right? So set your expectations to be fair, to be realistic. Because if you're thinking it's going to be anything similar to your quick dopamine hits you've been getting from social media, etc., you got another thing coming to you. Slow progress equals lasting results. You want progress slowly. If it happens too quickly, you will burn out. You want it slowly, and you want it over time. And please understand that there is no easy way to achieve your goals. Anything that's worth value in life is difficult to attain. And if it wasn't, then everybody would have it. So the things that you want out of life, please understand, everybody else wants these things too. So what separates you? You have to be willing to last longer. You have to be willing to have more endurance and stay strong for your goals. So focus on the process. You got to fall in love with the daily habits and the daily routines. Enjoy the journey, not the destination. And I know that's easier said than done, but it is very, very important to truly enjoy your journey, because the man who enjoys the journey will walk further than the man who really only cares about the destination. So if you're working out, focus on how it makes you feel every single time you do it, as opposed to focusing, on the end result every single time, right? So fall in love with the daily habits and celebrate the small wins. You have to celebrate the small wins, otherwise you will lose your mind. So it's very important to, make sure that these little milestones that you hit are critical. Big goals can kind of feel overwhelming, so you got to break them down into manageable steps. So example, instead of writing a book, start with write 500 words today, right? That's just a silly little example. Instead of, lose 5 pounds, you could do track my macros for a week. So small, consistent actions lead to big results over time. So when it comes to the process, I want you to understand something. Focusing on the daily inputs is the key to success. When you're so focused on the output, you lose sight of what it actually takes to get there. To achieve anything in life, you have to become the man worthy of achieving said thing. So I want to go over this quick little story here about a Zen farmer, I believe, right? Just listen to the story. I'm going to read it for you. There's a wisdom story about a young, earnest Zen student who asked the Zen master, "If I work very hard and very diligently, how long will it take me to find Zen?" And the master thought about this, and then he replies, 10 years. And the student said, "But what if I work very, very hard and I apply myself to learn fast? Well, then how long?" And then the master says, "Well, 20 years. And the kid said, "But if I work really, really hard and work at it really, really hard, then how long?" And then the master says, 30 years. And the kid said, "But I don't understand." He was disappointed. He said, "I don't understand. Each time I say I'll work harder, you tell me it's going to take me longer. Why do you say that?" And the master replies, when you only have one eye on the goal, you have only one eye on the path. The lesson in single-mindedness is described by the Chinese philosopher Chuang Tzu in the following way. He said, "If an archer is shooting for nothing, he has all his skill. If he shoots for a brass buckle, he is already nervous. If he shoots for a prize of gold, he goes blind or sees 2 targets. He's out of his mind." And basically, let me give you now the Devin version of what this fucking guy is saying, because I know that this could be very, very confusing what I've just read to you. Let me break this down, okay? The student is saying, if I focus really, really hard on the output, how long will it take me? And the Zen master keeps saying, the more you focus on the output, the longer it's going to take you to get there. Instead, focus on the daily inputs it takes you to get there, and you'll get there way fucking faster. That is the explanation of what he's saying. Now that that's been translated so you guys understand. So always focus on the daily inputs. And when I say celebrate the small wins, below is an example of a habit tracker that I've once used. How many hours did you work on your goal? How much money did you make today? How many hours did you sleep? Did you work out? Did you hit your macros? How many calories did you burn? The little micro things, when you focus on just hitting those every single day, that is a small win that you can celebrate and you can enjoy. So when you do this, you're actually winning every single day as opposed to only winning once you reach the output that you're chasing. So focus on the small wins. To touch on what we just spoke about, small actions add up over time. All right? Focus on 1% better every single day. And as you can tell in this graph, which is also talked a lot about in Atomic Habits by James Clear, right? 1% better every day is a 37x on improvement in your life. So you're literally getting 37 times better than you were last year if you were to just simply focus on getting 1% better every single day. That is significant. 37 times better than you currently are, and all you have to do is get 1% better every day. Sounds like a good deal to me, but if you were to get 1% worse every day, you would regress drastically, as you could see in this graph. Okay? This is what happens when you get 1% better. And when you get 1% worse, what happens is you go below baseline. So you actually end up worse off. So focus on simply just 1% better every single day. Your small actions are going to add up over time, trust me. So next we need to redefine failure. So failure is part of the journey. All right? Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every fall is a chance to rise. And this image here, you're not going to know what the hell it is, but there's an old parable about a Chinese farmer that we're going to break into right now because it's super, super relevant to this whole redefine failure thing, right? And basically, failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the journey. Every no is a step closer to yes. Use setbacks as fuel to keep going. So failure is not a bad thing. Failure is what makes you. When you look back on all your past failures, it gives you endless motivation to become better. Not only that, every failure you have is an experience. And every time you fail, you're now wiser and more knowledgeable on that topic, which makes you more capable to achieve all of your goals. So failure is nothing to fear. Would you rather fail and get back on the horse and try again? Or would you rather live the rest of your life with regret knowing that you never even tried? These are things that you genuinely have to ask yourself. So redefine failure in your brain. Stop being afraid of failure. There's no reason to fear. So I just spoke about the old parable of the Chinese farmer. And here it is. It's by Alan Watts, who's an absolute gangster. And I want to read this to you guys. So the lost farmer and his lost horse. Once upon a time, there was a Chinese farmer who lost a horse. All the neighbors came around that evening and said, "That's too bad." And the farmer said, "Maybe." The next day, the horse came back and brought 7 wild horses with it. All the neighbors came around and said, "What? That's great, isn't it?" And he said, "Maybe." The next day, his son, who was attempting to tame one of these horses and was riding it, was thrown and broke his leg. And all the neighbors came around in the evening and said, "Well, that's too bad, isn't it?" And he said, "Maybe." Then the next day, the conscription officers, or however you say that, officers came around looking for people for the army. And they rejected his son because his son had a broken leg. And all the neighbors came around that evening and said, "Isn't that great? Isn't that so lucky?" And he said, "Maybe." And basically, this reflects a fundamentally Taoistic attitude, which is that the whole process of nature is an integrated process of immense complexity. It is really impossible to tell whether anything that happens in it is good or bad, because you never know what will be the consequences of a misfortune, and you never know what will be the consequences of good fortune. You never know the chain, the pattern, the connection between events. Meaning, fellas, anything bad that happens to you might end up being the best thing that ever happened to you, because anything that happens to you, good or bad, is what makes you who you are. And the more things you go through, the more capable you become as a man. The more capacity you have to deal with problems. The more wise, the more experienced you are in life, which gives you more capacity to win. So anything that happens, you need to look at it as, is it good, is it bad? I don't know yet. So things that you might deem as some ultimate failure in your life might actually not be a bad thing. I mean, when you think of every bad thing that's happened to you, you can even go as deep as a family member passing away. I mean, my father passed away, and at the end of the day, if he didn't die, I wouldn't be here talking to you today, because that fucking got me off my ass and made me into a man. Right? So not everything that happens to you is bad. It's all about how you associate it. So stop being afraid of failures and stop deeming anything bad that happens to you as something that's so detrimental, because it actually might help you in the future. It might make you who you become. Now, track your progress. All right? What is measured gets managed. So a progress tracker, a before and after photo, which we'll get into, track workouts, track food, all these things. But my main thing that I love to track is a daily journal. Every single morning, I write out in my daily journal, where I just basically write out my thoughts. And the reason this is great is because I can look back in time. So basically my journal is like a time machine, and I could go back 3 months ago and see exactly the way my mind was operating, see exactly the way that I was thinking. And the reason that this keeps me so motivated is because whenever I feel like I'm not making progress, I simply just go back and I look at the way that I was thinking just a short few months ago. And it really wakes me up to the fact of how much I've developed, how much I've changed. And then I realize where I feel like I haven't been making much progress, I actually have. So a daily journal is amazing for that. Tracking workouts, every single week you're seeing yourself get stronger in the gym, do more reps or do more sets. So you might physically not see the difference yet, but your muscle's a lagging indicator of your efforts, the same way your money is. So track your workouts so that you can physically see on a piece of paper you're stronger than you were a week ago. Track your food as well. Make sure you're going to MyFitnessPal, you're tracking, you're logging your food, making sure that as long as you hit your macros every day, boom, now you got to win. That's another small win, and it's going to keep you motivated, okay? And take progress photos, because you might not notice a drastic difference in a month or 2 months, but when you look back at a progress photo, which is a photo of you in the same mirror or the same, behind the same wall, you'll notice those refined little details that have actually changed in your physique. and it'll keep you motivated. Give yourself reasons to stay motivated. So keep a journal, take progress photos, track your workouts, track everything, track your habits. And when you feel stuck, just go ahead and look back at how far you've come. So I want to give you this example specifically. This is one of my clients, Henry, and here's some things that we track. So as you can see here, we've been tracking his weight since he began the program. Now he's obviously, tried to lose weight. So he's from 247 down to 220 now. And I basically give him this little graph where it shows him exactly how much he should be losing every day if he was to hit his macros properly and train the way I tell him. And that blue line represents that, and the red line is where he is. So he's actually, lagging about 2 pounds behind where he should be. He's still making great progress, but we could see in real time, if he's above this blue line, he needs to step it up. If he's below, that means he's crushing his goals. So it really helps track progress and give a visible representation of how much progress he's making. And then, of course, the workouts that I give him, where I show videos of me doing the workouts. I tell him how many sets, how many reps. And actually, if you actually look at the whole thing, I give actual real instructions and descriptions of each workout as well. So it's all tailored to him, but he goes in there, and all he's got to do is, look, he's getting stronger, he's getting stronger, he's getting stronger, right? So basically, we're just logging those workouts so each week he could see physically that he's getting stronger. And while at first his body didn't look any different, look at it now. I mean, he's lost over about 30 pounds now, and he looks drastically different, and he's got way stronger. But we tracked all of these things, so every single day he could see himself in real time getting better. Next, surround yourself with winners. All right, motivation is very contagious, so join a community or simply use the internet. And I'll break down what I mean by that. But you want to be in a motivational group of some sort. Surround yourself around people who inspire you. Join a community of guys, who are all on the same journey as you, who are pushing each other, and it reminds you that you need to be pushed as well. Because here's the deal. We do not rise to our ambitions, okay? We fall to the level of our standards. And when you join a group of men who are constantly pushing the limits, your standard is held high. And when you have high standards, you earn success at a much quicker rate, right? So join a community. And if you don't want it, so you can see here, there's a category in one of in the school community that we run, and everybody's just posting in there, them looking jacked, them tracking their meals. We're posting, book recommendations, podcast recommendations. They're showing that they're up early. And basically, we're just constantly pushing each other throughout all the pillars of life. And it keeps us motivated because the days you don't feel like showing up, obviously your coach is going to hold you accountable. But when you also see that your peers are up and they're crushing their goals, it's going to motivate you to want to do the same thing. And they encourage you when you're falling short, right? So join a community. It's so important. Now, if you don't have the funds to join a community, if you don't have friends that are on the same mission as you, if you don't know anyone in real life on the same mission as you, and you're completely poor, then use the internet. Find 5 people that you truly admire, that are having all the success in life that you want to have, and start watching their content religiously. Watch their content and spend more time watching their content than you do around any of your bum-ass friends right now, and start implementing their daily attributes into your life. So start pulling out of their content the things about them that you want to have in your life and start emulating that in your own life. So that's free. You can go on YouTube, Instagram, and really, really watch these people, watch how they operate from a day to day, and start just taking their free information. And that's a great way to do it if you have no money. But joining a community, I can't stress enough how important this is and how much this will change your life and raise your standards. Now, I want to reiterate this. Reward yourself, okay? I want to stress the importance of this because if you're not rewarding yourself, if you're not clocking the little wins, you will go mad. And if you're not enjoying the process, you won't sustain the process. You won't be consistent. And if you're inconsistent, you will never get results, okay? So celebrate those little wins and set mini milestones for yourself. So I want to give another example. This is something else that, this is little clips of it, but this is something that I give to my clients. This is called a war map. So every single month, we're breaking down monthly goals, the main objectives. You can write notes. And each night before bed, we're writing out 5 needle-moving tasks that we're going to execute the next day. So for example, on Friday night, they'd be writing out 5 tasks they need to do tomorrow that's either going to move the needle in their fitness, their mindset, their business, their relationships, or their spirituality, right? We're constantly making sure that the night before we're planning so that we never wake up without purpose. We know every single day what we're doing. And then once you hit each one of those tasks, small win, small win, small win, little milestone, monthly goal, all right? Then you could do quarterly goals, where like a quarter would be January, February, March. That's Q1 of the year. I will lose 20 pounds. I will bench 225. Silly little examples, but this is still a small milestone on the scale of life, right? So you want to set mini milestones broken down into quarters, into months, into weeks, and into days, right? Daily wins is what we want to focus on. So you just reverse engineer your goals and start breaking it down into day-to-day activities. The bigger picture, right? I look pretty damn good, don't I? Because you're building more than just a better body. That's the bigger picture. You're not just building a better body or a better social life. You're building discipline. You're building resistance. You're building confidence that's going to bleed into every single area of your life, right? Understand this. It starts with your mindset, and then it starts with your fitness. But you understand these wins and this success that you have in those two areas will make you more confident to approach women. It will make you more confident to go ask for that raise. It will have you more focused than you've ever been in your entire life, which will lead to you being more productive, crushing your work better, being able to be there better for your children, for your family, for your friends, being able to just be an overall better, happier, more confident, less anxiety person, a happier human being. There's a much bigger picture to this. You're not just changing the way you look, you are changing who you are inside. You're changing who you are, who you see when you look inside that mirror. Where you're seeing maybe someone that you're not so proud of right now, what you're working towards is building a man in which when you look in that mirror, you are proud to see. And boys, you got to keep pushing forward, okay? Progress is not always visible, but I promise you, as long as you're hitting the daily inputs every single day, it's happening. Now, I love Stoicism. I've read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I have Stoic tattoos all over me. I am a true believer in Stoicism. And if you don't know what Stoicism is, it's basically where you never get too low and you never get too high. You keep an even balance in life. And there's some famous Stoics, like Socrates, Marcus Aurelius. I forgot how to say his fucking name, but he's one of the biggest ones. And there's some quotes here I want to talk to you about. So, the harder the struggle, the more. You notice how it doesn't say anything specific? That's because the more you struggle with anything in your life, the more you're going to get out of life. The harder the challenge, the more you get. That's why I say anything worth value is difficult to attain. The more valuable it is, the harder it is to get, the more it's going to be worth it once you have it. So the harder the struggle, the more. So whenever you're in pain, whenever you're struggling, whenever you're feeling like life is getting at you, it's hard, it's tough, it's rough, understand that the reason it is because God's calling you for more. You have bigger successes coming to you once you weather this storm. Now another quote right here, progress is not achieved by luck or by accident, but by working on yourself daily. Working on yourself daily. And I like to say outworking yourself. And when I say outworking yourself, I mean being better than you were the day before. So progress is simply you just doing better than you did yesterday. That's it. And only by 1%. Nothing drastic. Just one little adjustment every single day. Getting better. That's what progress really looks like, boys. Now to close this out, I'm going to read you this little parable, okay? How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself, and in no instance bypass the discriminations of reason? You have been given the principles that you ought to endorse, and you have endorsed them. What kind of teacher, then, are you still waiting for in order to refer your self-improvement to him? You are no longer a boy, but a full-grown man. If you are careless and lazy now, and keep putting things off, and always deferring the day after which you will attend to yourself, you will not notice that you are making no progress, but you will live and die as someone quite ordinary. From now on, then, resolve to live as a grown-up who is making progress, and make whatever you think best, a law that you never set aside. And whenever you encounter anything that is difficult or pleasurable, or highly or lowly regarded, remember that the contest is now. You are at the Olympic Games. You cannot wait any longer. And that your progress is wrecked or preserved by a single day and a single event. That is how Socrates fulfilled himself, by attending to nothing except reason in everything he encountered. And you, although you are not yet a Socrates, should live as someone who at least wants to be a Socrates. Boy, is that fucking powerful. That is so powerful. How long are you going to wait? What he is saying here is that taking action is the only answer. You'll never know quite what the path needs to be. It illuminates as you walk, but you're a full-grown man who is waiting to change his life. And the waiting is what will paralyze you, and you will live and die as someone quite ordinary. Glory is fleeting, but obscurity is forever. Becoming great is always a chase. But being irrelevant, obscurity, being someone that no one's ever going to remember who you were, is forever. So you can either keep waiting, keep thinking about it, or step up and do something with your life. Right? Motivation is great, and everything I've laid out here can keep you motivated. But what you truly need is your why. You need a reason why you're doing what you're doing. So if you're not sick and tired of your situation, well, then you better have a strong goal to chase. Right? You're a grown man. A grown man. And in order for you to become someone worth any value, you have to start imagining this future version of yourself who has everything that you want in life, and start living as that man today. Adopt his habits, adopt the way he walks and talks, adopt his skill set, go through the troubles he went through to get there, okay? That is how Socrates fulfilled himself. And although you're not yet Socrates, you should live as someone who at least wants to be. At least try. Now look, boys, I really hope this video was valuable for you boys. And what I want you to do is, if you want to take action, if you want to seriously step up to the plate, and you're sick and tired of where you've been, and you're ready to change your life for the better, then book a call in the description. Okay? Book a call with me in the description, and I will show you how to harness that ambition you have in your soul to become the greatest version of yourself. Alright? But irregardless, I hope that you found value in this video. I hope that this has helped you, that you're going to apply these things to remain motivated. I hope that this has woken you up if you've been sleeping. And I hope that you achieve everything you've ever wanted in your life. Because everybody's deserving if they put the work in. And if you put the right efforts in, failure then becomes impossible. I fucking love you boys. Listen, I'll see you boys in the next video. But please, do something tomorrow better than you did it today. Do something to move the needle forwards in your life tomorrow better than you did it today. I love you boys. I'll see you in the next video.